So Victoria's Secret has been under fire many times over in its almost 40 years of business. And from being in the top 500 Fortune 500 companies in Forbes magazines to connections to Jeffrey Epstein's underage sex scandals on his pleasure island, to me it's clear that Victoria's Secret has an even darker side to its angels, and sadly it has to do with body dysmorphia. Hello everyone, Jay Rhymes with the Periodic Review. Hopefully I will earn your subscription today. So don't forget to like and share this video, crush that red subscribe button, and hit that bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss a content release. Now, Victoria's Secret is obviously known to selling, undergarments and underwear, bras and stuff like that for women. Has stores, thousands, United States wide. And this company is now grossing upwards into the $3 billion net worth. And starting in the mid-'80s, it accumulated $500,000 net worth in its first year of business, which is pretty incredible. Now, the brand has been criticized historically for its uses of sexual imagery to sell their products, from the runways to photo shoots to social media. And I think a lot of times when people think about Victoria's Secret, you also kind of think of, what are young girls seeing from these angels, as they call them? Are they using their looks to try to see where they fit and things like that? And I think it's really scary, especially with social media, how young girls and young boys are starting to use these different people and imagery to kind of dictate what they should look like and what they should feel about things, instead of just knowing who they are. Now, there are allegations from its employees, not only from its employees, but also to the runway models. They have accused the company of sexual harassment, unfair, dangerous treatment, as well as exploitation and drug use. And unfortunately, they've seen a lot of this with their models and their employees as well. Employees, struggling to, have long days at work, as well as these models are going through a lot of changes, not only with their bodies to keep in their toned, tanned shape, but they're also having issues as far as poor diets and body dysmorphia, as well as having other struggles with their eating disorders. Now, that retail empire was the brainchild of Leslie Wexner, and by 1986, Forbes was reporting that he was about the sixth richest person in the country, worth upwards of $1.4 billion. Wexner, according to Vanity Fair, didn't just hire financier Jeffrey Epstein, he gave him absolute control of his money. The New York Times reported that by the end of the mid-'90s, Epstein had near completed control over not only Wexner's finances, but the man himself. Wexner was quoted as calling Epstein a close personal friend, a friend who allegedly didn't kill himself. Now, very little has been given to the company's brainchild, who initially, created this. Unfortunately, committed suicide. Roy Raymond, who originally came up with the idea after looking for something to buy for his wife. He found two things missing: pretty underwear and a salesperson who didn't think he was a weirdo. And I'll be honest, I have been in a couple of Victoria's Secret stores in the past. I mean, it is very uncomfortable, I think, normally for men to go into sex shops or to go into Victoria's Secret shops, with women's underwear, because they have the feeling that people are going to look at them in a certain way because you're buying for something that isn't something that you'd normally buy for yourself. And so I kind of see where men can kind of get that vibe. And so it's just kind of funny. But honestly, however you want to go and buy your underwear for your women is up to you, obviously. And of course, the woke culture who took charge around the early 2010s are putting Victoria's Secret on blast for cultural appropriation and racial insensitivity and non-inclusivity. And seemingly one man's appropriation is another man's appreciation, which is something that's really interesting. I think some people who look at other individuals who are wearing costumes, or whether they are, wearing the attire or the garb or whatever in the country that they're visiting, like people can construe that as being insensitive racially, or people can see that as appropriation, where in actuality, I see it as an appreciation and also an incorporation of culture of where you're going. So I don't know. I really feel like we're at a place now where it seems like we have first world issues, and we have to spend the time to try to figure out what we're going to be upset about, because we're not in any kind of dire circumstances. We're not technically in like an all-out war with America and other countries. So we're kind of like in this place where we just have everything. Like we don't have to worry about a lot of our needs. And although we do have, other places like, homeless and stuff like that who are still struggling with that, the majority of Americans are really benefiting from the wealth and the wonderful things that are in our country. And in other allegations, including underage models younger than 17, poor diets, poor workout routines, eating disorders, as well as slave labor from West Africa, where children as young as 13 were picking cotton by hand. I know that was a pretty big deal for Victoria's Secret back in the past, and it's just been really interesting. I've actually looked up at a few articles. It seems like they are having a downturn. They're kind of struggling a little bit, and there's even some talks of it actually going into bankruptcy. So we'll have to see, what's going to happen in the future. And I think since we've been on this deal where, we just talked recently about the cobalt mines over in the Dominican Republic of Congo, and slave labor that's still going on today, sadly. Thank God, and thank for individuals who have that mindset to not have that happen in our country. And I feel very, very grateful for that. And I just hope that these companies that are benefiting from these slave laborers, paying very, very little for these third world countries, I hope that we stop benefiting from that and we start creating more things in our country. But who knows? I could possibly be wrong, and I'm sure you will let me know in the comment section. I can't talk, down below. All of our sources and links are in the video's description down below. And from my family to yours, good night. Today's video is sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. If we earned your subscription today, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, click that damn bell, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a content release. The best way to support the channel is to like this video, share it with family and friends, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Send all of your topic ideas, articles, and video links to theperiodicreview@gmail.com. All of our links are in the description down below.